Oh, we've got a fuse box here, and we've got the breakdown of the fuse box over here, and we've got a fuse right here with a blown fuse. With a blown fuse right there. See that over here? It's blown. See how they got that wire tied around it right there and shoved back in the fuse box? Now, if you were in a pinch and you didn't have one of those fuses, it would probably be a great idea, right? Yeah, they took this to another mechanic, and this was the fix. Instead of replacing the fuse, they took a strand of wire and wrapped it between the two instead of fixing it properly, and then charged the customer for the repair. Anyway, the symptoms of the vehicle was it was running real rough. It's a 2015, I think it's a 15 Ford Edge. Isn't that what Rob was working on earlier? A 15 Ford Edge with a 3.5 liter. That blue one? Yeah, it was a 15 Ford Edge with a 3.5 liter. And it was running rough, it was misfiring. One of the other technicians got in the vehicle and started turning stuff on to see what worked on the dash and what didn't. And he said, it's weird because if I turn the wipers on, they work in some speeds, but they don't work in other speeds. And intermittent comm issues and cluster issues and lights on all over the place. And the technician got up underneath the dash and he started pulling on the wiring harness going to the fuse box. And as he would pull on the wiring harness, all of a sudden everything would clear up and the vehicle would start running good, and then it would go away. And he's trying to figure out why. The connections look good. There's nothing wrong with the wires. Didn't look like anybody spliced into anything. What was happening is as he's pulling on the connector, it was kicking that fuse back and forth, and it was making proper connection with that little wire tied around it, and it was clearing up momentarily, going back, clearing up momentarily, going back. What that was inside this vehicle was fuse 13, 7.5 amp fuse, steering column control module, instrument panel cluster, gateway module. So that takes down your communication, takes down your IPC stuff, and what you see on the dash causes all kinds of lights to flutter, and intermittently sends power and doesn't send power based on how it was fixed to the steering column control module, which then controls the wiper speeds and stuff as well. So he gets to researching what they all have in common, and he comes up with a fuse 13 7.5 amp. And Rob was like, maybe you should do a video on this to educate people on what not to do and actually explain to them if they ever run into a situation like this, what you have going on. 7.5 amp fuse. Put a new one in there, fix the problem. Do it the right way. Don't be a hack. Be a man.